opinions of Channel 33, its management, or sponsors. You're watching Power Talk on your community TV station, UHF TV 33, Detroit, Highland Park.
Welcome to Metro Foodland, where you will always find courteous service. Our hardworking staff always gives their all to maintain our dairy fresh and wholesome products, cold cuts, premium meats, and of course, we have some of the freshest produce around. Check out our deli and bistro. We also carry specialty items such as Tanisha Noni, Water Station alkaline water, and much, much more. If we don't have it, just ask, and we'll do our best to get it. Remember to ask how to join our Healthy Rewards Club. Seniors and ladies, always ask for an escort to your vehicle. We'll see you soon at Detroit's own community grocer, Metro Foodland, located at 18551 Grand River. That's 18551 Grand River, near Finkel and the Southfield Freeway. Remember, that's Metro Foodland.
Tuesdays, 9 p.m. on TV 33. Join me, Barry Ross, on Mixing It Up. We'll feature informative community organizations that will offer solutions to Wayne County residents in reference to employment, safety, and security within neighborhoods, job training, education, and mentoring programs. Remember, Tuesdays, 9 p.m. Join me, Barry Ross, Mixing It Up on TV 33. Good evening, Detroit, Highland Park, and beyond. This show is live. TV 33 WHPR. We want to acknowledge this station, the only true black TV station in the state of Michigan that reports the truth the way it is, not the way the conventional media wants you to believe, but the way it really goes down. Only on TV 33. This show is going to continue to be called Mixing It Up, maybe forever. I was going to change the name, but I'm happy with Mixing It Up. And I also want to encourage you to call in tonight. All these numbers are 313-868-0342, 868-0351, 4336. This show, like I said, is broadcast to you live on TV 33, WHPR.com. You can catch it online, www.tv33whpr.com. This station is new, improving, and it's going beyond. We're going into the next millennium. We're changing this station all the time to make it better and prouder for you in Detroit. I have an interesting show tonight. I'm going to have with us in a couple minutes, I'm going to have Anthony Jones. He's running a new division of Crime Stoppers. It's about 8 months old within the prison system. A couple weeks ago, I had Tom Staten, who runs a program for the schools, the middle schools and the high schools in Detroit. Crime Stoppers is branching out. They're reaching out. They're going into the prison systems and beyond. I have to tell everybody that yesterday I am embarrassed at the way our government is being run. Never in my life have I ever read or encountered the kind of circus that is going on in our government. I went to City Hall the other day. You know that Miller Canfield is the law firm that constructed the language within the consent agreement. And the people in the city of Detroit, the residents, we don't want to see this law firm gain control of our legal department in the city of Detroit. That means that contracts are not going to be favorable to the people that live in the city of Detroit. They're going to go to the people beyond in the suburbs. Miller Canfield is favorable to the governor and the mayor. So check this out. I'm at city council waiting for the meeting to begin, and we're waiting for the mayor. And we find out that the mayor of Detroit is absent from a meeting that he calls. My God. So now the meeting continues. President Pugh is waiting for the deputy chief mayor. Deputy Chief Mayor Kirk Lewis comes in, and he says, you know what? We're in violation of the Open Meetings Act. So Pew says to him, are you telling me all these people that took the time and expense to come downtown Detroit to publicly comment and fill out these comment cards will not be heard? He says, that's right. 15 minutes later, they adjourn the meeting. A meeting that the mayor calls. Now, I want to tell you all something. The only way that we're going to bring this city into a level playing field is that we make all our politicians and leaders accountable in the city. Now, I have here the new Detroit Charter, and I am researching right now. I believe that our mayor is in violation of several infractions. You know, and I just want to know, you know, when I'm driving down the street and I'm breaking the speed limit or the law and I get pulled over, there's a penalty that I have to pay if I get a ticket. Why can't the mayor of Detroit, when he's in violation of the law, why can't we make him pay a penalty? You know, we have a charter. This is supposed to be our Constitution, what governs the city of Detroit. I want to make these politicians accountable for the mistakes they make. I could go on and on and on. I have read here, number one, I believe our mayor can be charged with willful neglect of duty. Malfeasance, you know, neglect of duty. I believe, and I could go on and on and on. The citizens that live in this city have to realize, even though you've been beaten down, even though you've been hurt, even though the lack of police support, for various reasons, the police have been facing cuts, morale problems, they're overworked. We've had problems with our chiefs, one chief after another, lack of leadership in our, and obviously within our mayors. One mayor after another. Now we got another mayor here that really shouldn't be leading a kindergarten excursion down to the art museum, as far as I'm concerned. And lack of lighting, jobs, 85,000 abandoned houses. Now I can go on and on and on, but I'm going to tell you something. Unless you start joining us, we can't change these things. I'm going to take a quick call. Good evening. You're on the air.
Oh, well, hello. Happy Tuesday to you.
Thank you. Same to you.
I was calling in response to the conversation that you're having right now because I agree with you, and also I'm aware, I don't know if many of your viewers are, but I'm aware of the fact that there is an answer, which is a recall that's taking place right now.
That's correct.
To remove Dave Bing from the office that he is holding and abusing and misusing, and is being spearheaded by State Representative John Olumba. So if anybody's interested in participating in the recall of Dave Bing, who is currently the mayor of the city of Detroit, they need to call John Olumba's office and find out where the campaign headquarters is here for the recall.
Ma'am, I just want to tell you that I was hoping John Olumba was going to come here tonight. Somebody was supposed to be arranging this for him to interview. What's the phone number to his office?
Area code 517-373-0144.
Okay.
Again, that's area code 517-373-0144.
Okay. Thank you.
And they will give you the headquarters that's spearheading the recall here in the city of Detroit. And the other thing is, you're talking about people being held accountable. You know, the guy who works for Dave Bing named Chris Brown has committed a felony by taking $2 million out of one bank and putting it in another bank without approval. And when he got caught, he says, I'll put the money back. Well, I mean, that's the craziest thing I've heard. If a person went into a bank, told the bank teller to give up $1 million, left the bank, somebody called them on it, and then went back and said, oh, here, I'll put this back. You still committed a felony.
You still there? Hello? Are you still there?
In court right now for taking money from his civic fund and using it for personal use. The governor has just done the same thing, and Channel 7 reporter caught him on it.
I just want to say that you know what's interesting to me, and I really appreciate your call, and I appreciate your points. What's interesting to me is people continue to get away, and people are not getting penalized and taken to task on these infractions and violations of the law. I'm going to call John Olimba, and I really appreciate your call tonight.
Good.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Can I share one last thing with you? There are places where our people can file their complaints. One is with the Inspector General of the City of Detroit, the Auditor General for the City of Detroit, the Ethics Board with the City of Detroit, and the Ombudsman. Doreen Brown, the Ombudsman, has been on the show with you before.
Yeah, that's correct. And filing a complaint.
And then with a lawyer.
Filing a complaint.
Now, those are offices where our complaints can be filed.
I just want to tell you.
We have got to do that. Got to.
Not to interrupt you and be rude, but I'm sick and tired about filing the complaints and nothing's getting done. That's all that we're doing. You know what I'm saying? So I want to figure out a way to take people to task. I appreciate your call. I have to take another call and get to my guest. Thank you very much. Hi, I'm sorry. You're on the air. How are you?
Hi.
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 Hello?
Hi.
Stevie.
Yes.
Where you been, Stevie?
I had fun Thanksgiving.
You had a nice Thanksgiving?
Yes.
Okay. You didn't eat too much turkey, did you?
No.
Okay, that's what I'm talking about.
I'm
Everything
a
all right?
doctor.
When are you coming to the station to visit me?
Where day you want to come?
No, you got to come to this station on
When?
Tuesdays. Right,
When?
like right now.
Right now?
Yeah, on a Tuesday night, have someone bring you to the station
Okay.
as a guest
Okay.
because Malik and I want to meet you. So
All
like
right.
next Tuesday night, why don't you come to the station? It's at 160 Victor in Highland Park.
Okay.
You keep saying okay, but you don't come.
I promise.
Okay, tell your mama. 160 Victor.
I'm going to tell my mama to drop me off.
All right, that's what I'm talking about.
I got a new phone.
All right, very good. You got a cell phone?
No, white phone.
A white? Okay.
And then
All right,
I
couldn't
got
be a black phone.
my black phone is Dead Berries.
A BlackBerry.
Dead Berries.
Dead batter. All right. Stevie, I'm going to let you go.
Okay.
You know I love you.
I love you too.
How's your teeth?
Fine.
All right. Okay, I'll talk to you later.
All right, bye.
Ladies and gentlemen, I want to introduce you to a very great man. Mr. Anthony Jones, who's here tonight, is a miracle. And I'm a little miracle, but you're a big miracle.
Nothing close to a miracle.
You first of all,
I'm experiencing a miracle.
First of all, you work with Crime Stoppers.
That's correct.
So this is the guest tonight that's going to talk about the new program at Crime Stoppers. Would you like to give everybody a little idea of your past at all, or
Sure. No,
I've come
don't
from the
hide
other
a thing.
side.
I don't hide a thing.
Tell them about yourself.
Well, about me, I'm just over a year from being released from a 20-year sentence, and that's why Barry's talking about a miracle, because
20 years in prison.
20-year sentence in prison.
My God.
I'm just a little over a year. I think it was the 8th of this month that I marked a year being released from prison. And that's why you talk about a miracle, because from prison, now I'm about 8 months in being employed with Crime Stoppers as a corrections coordinator. So, you know, that's a
How's that for an irony, everybody?
Yeah, how's that for an oxymoron?
From prison to Crime Stoppers. Now, not only that, You've recently gotten married.
Yes.
This has been a
that's
busy
right,
man
that's right,
in
that's
a year.
Right, that's
he
right.
recently bought a house.
That's right.
So he came out of prison running, like
right.
O.J. Simpson used to run through the airport.
Yeah.
I always say, he came out on the ground running.
That's right. I started running before I left.
All right, and we're proud of you.
That's right.
And I have the utmost respect for you. And I was talking to you a little bit about you were divinely inspired in prison
Oh yeah.
at some point or another.
Oh yeah.
To
sure.
change.
For sure.
And
sure.
and how did that happen?
What I was sharing with Barry was the fact that 4 days in, still in the county jail, not even sentenced, not even convicted yet, but I heard something tell me. I heard a voice, and it said to me, "Now that I have your attention, will you listen?" And I've been open ears ever since, and I can only say the great things have happened since then. Like you said, coming out on the ground running. My family met me at the door. They picked me up, and everything's good. Been happening ever since. Everything has been good. Everything has been good. Everything has been good. I mean, I can't really explain it. Sometimes I'm looking behind me to see what just happened. But that's how good.
I got to tell you, the last time I heard a voice, it said, "Let's get high. Let's get high. Let's get high."
I used to hear that voice.
Yeah, and I mean, I heard that voice every day.
Yeah.
And I said, "No." It said, "You have to. You're going to be sick. Let's go get high." There was no choice.
Yeah.
This man has changed his ways, and you're now with Crime Stoppers. And let's talk about what you do, what the program's about.
Well, first of all, I want to talk about Crime Stoppers before I talk about what I do for Crime Stoppers.
Okay.
Because a lot of people have a misconception about Crime Stoppers. They think we are an organization that is in the neighborhood to stop crime. We're out there to bring the crime rate down and do whatever we can do, but our main function is to empower the citizen to take their neighborhoods back.
And how do you do that?
And how we do that is we help them communicate with law enforcement without having a face-to-face. Because our communities, we don't trust the police officers.
That's for sure.
We don't want the stigma on us for talking to the police officers about various things. So Crime Stoppers serves as a middleman. Crime Stoppers gives you the opportunity to get the thug out of your neighborhood, get the B&E guy out of your neighborhood, get the guy who likes to play with guns out of your neighborhood. Just get the bad seed out of your neighborhood because he evidently is not listening. I know some people are watching right now, and some people are maybe under the sound of my voice in this room or in this building that are thinking they're snitches. But my definition of a snitch compared to a person who would call the tip line to Crime Stoppers, 1-800-SPEAK-UP, it's like this. If Barry and I were out there committing a crime and I got caught, and then I told on Barry, I'm snitching.
Thank you.
Because we decided to do this thing together. I shouldn't have to roll over on him to make myself feel better or receive a lesser sentence. But when you got somebody out there, literally, peeling the walls off of your home or cutting catalytic converters off of your car.
Raping the lady next door.
The ladies, the children.
Killing children, setting women on fire.
Killing senselessly. It might make sense to the street code, but at the same time, you're terrorizing a neighborhood. Why wait until it happens to someone in your family?
Should we not forget to tell them that when you call Crime Stoppers, it's an anonymous? Tell them where the number goes.
It's anonymous. This call is not even picked up in the United States. The call goes to Toronto, Canada. There's no caller ID. There's nobody recording your phone call. In fact, if you try to give them your name, they won't even take your tip.
Now they give you money.
Of course, there's a reward.
Now I'm 2 house payments behind and a car payment behind.
Okay.
And I'm down to my last can of macaroni and cheese.
Okay.
And it's only got one kind of cheese. And I need some money, and I know something.
And you know something.
And like what kind of money? I saw Ray take out Pookie. Okay.
Your cash rewards. And I want to say cash rewards. Your cash rewards, depending on the type of crime, can go from hundreds of dollars to tens of thousands of dollars. Talk to me.
2,500
2,500.
is about what I've.
2,500 is the norm.
Right.
But see, somebody can contribute to that and say,
Thank
we
you.
really want to end.
Tell them what.
We
Tell them.
really want to find
Right.
this suspect. We really want to close
People
this.
in the
We really
community or in a
want-
business or organization would contribute to the amount of money that Crime Stoppers
That's
is
exactly
offering.
right.
Because Crime Stoppers limits pretty much to about 2,500,
That's
right?
right.
Now,
We're a nonprofit organization. Our funds are limited, but what we do is we offer $2,500 on a murder case.
okay, let's talk about the prisons now. What are you doing with the guys inside to help?
Okay, what we're doing on the inside, some of you in the Detroit area may have seen on the Comcast station 1-800-SPEAK-UP, an unsolved program. It's a half-an-hour program. It showcases unsolved crimes, and it offers you the information that you need to know about the tip line and about it being anonymous and how you can have a cash reward without even giving up your identity. So what I do is I get that information to the incarcerated in six county jails in all 33 prisons in the state of Michigan.
Okay, now I'm just curious. Now, I don't know. I'm asking. Am I assuming that I'm in a cell with somebody and he starts talking to me about something that's going on? What kind of tips are the guys already inside running? What are they giving? I mean,
It's hard. It's hard for me to say
Just
because,
generally
again,
speaking.
think about it. I can't speak on it because I don't know, because our organization is absolutely 100% anonymous.
Well, I mean, what's the
we
nature?
don't know.
The
See,
nature of some.
what you're asking me is about what type of tips do the incarcerated give?
Yeah, or
We don't know. We don't know where our tips are coming from. We can't say. We can get all of our tips could be coming from the penal system, or all of our tips could be coming from the community. We don't
Okay.
know because we're 100% anonymous.
I got you. So
We
you're
don't-
offering the program wherever it comes from. It comes from. Just another
wherever
avenue.
it comes from. It comes.
Okay,
It
now
comes.
on the streets, if there's a murder or rape, an act of violence, what have you, we give out flyers.
That's right.
And people need to understand. I think that's the most important thing. If something went down, there was a murder or serial murder or serial rape, go out into the community, hand out these flyers with the person of interest picture.
That's correct.
But in jail, obviously, you don't need to hand out flyers. It's strictly an offering to the opportunity to be able to tip. On
Well, see, that's
something.
where our 30-minute DVD comes in. We have a 30-minute DVD that showcases the press conferences that we have for the families of the deceased or the missing. It's not exclusive to murder. It's exclusive to crime. So when there's a crime committed, we showcase it on a 30-minute DVD, and those cases rotate so that everybody that needs exposure gets exposure.
How often are these
Every
new ones
week.
coming out?
Every once a week.
Okay. I get the ones for the murders that go on the streets every week. You tell me there's a different kind, or is it
No,
just
I'm telling you that even in that DVD that you're seeing,
Uh-huh.
there are cases that are not murders.
okay?
Okay.
Okay, so you personally go into the prisons.
I don't personally go into the prisons. I have a contact person inside
Okay.
the prisons
Go
that
on.
I communicate with. It may be a lieutenant, a captain, an inspector, even
Sure.
a warden or deputy
That works
warden
there.
that works there that I communicate with. I submit to them materials, posters, flyers about how to contact us, about how we are anonymous, and how no matter how long a person, this is what I think is unique about the corrections part of the Crime Stoppers. No matter how long these men and women are incarcerated, Crime Stoppers will hold their money until they're released.
Oh, that's wonderful.
They don't have to trust anybody with this money. People are saying, well, how is it anonymous if I'm collecting money? How am I going to get my money without somebody knowing who I am? What we do from the moment that you call, and again, that call goes to Toronto. It's not a caller ID. There is no recording. Nobody can call you back. You have to call back and use a PIN number that you're given to check up on your tip.
Okay.
And another thing about the tip that people don't understand is it's not necessary for the person to be convicted. All we need is an arrest.
Okay, that's what I was going to ask.
This guy can get arrested today
Thank you.
and be released,
And you still get it.
and you still get your reward
Okay,
money.
so it's upon his arrest.
It's upon arrest.
Right.
It's upon
Not
arrest.
conviction.
not conviction, arrest. If
Interesting.
if your tip leads to an arrest, there's a reward. You take that tip number to a bank that we let you know about. You tell them, I am ABC 123. I'm here to collect $2,500. They count out cash money, $2,500. No questions asked. You could give the tip and turn the tip number over to me. And I can go to the bank and give them the tip number and the cash amount. They both have to be correct, the tip number and the amount, and they're going to cash me out.
Okay, it's just like if I gave you my pawn ticket.
It's the same thing.
Okay, and I got to tell you, you're a very thorough. And, you know, I found out through Tom Staten that, like in the schools now, they have, they're giving monies out. Let's say you know somebody, a young man or a young girl in school, that's talking real seriously about taking their life.
Correct.
Tom told me of an incident where they actually had a case like this, and they went to the young man's house and saved his life.
That's correct.
And so they're offering money now for the suicide, potential suicide, bullying.
Exactly.
And now, are you branching out in the prisons with different kinds of rewards? Are these for different kinds of crimes? Or what are they predominantly for? Same thing as the street?
Well, same thing as the street.
Okay.
That's what it is. It's different from the schools because the schools allow Crime Stoppers to intervene in such a way. In the prisons, they have their own way of dealing with things. So they're a city within a city. So when it comes to things like that, they have people that they can report to take care of matters like that.
Okay.
But what we're trying to do is help families that have been victims of crimes have a resolve, bring some closure to them. And I know from my own experience, even though I was incarcerated for 20 years, I know from my own experience that I'm in touch with the street. I still know what's going on in the street, even though I'm incarcerated. We're using the telephone. We're talking to people that are free. We're hearing about our old buddies who have done this and have done that. We're learning things. We're finding out things. And some of these people are even confiding in us who are incarcerated. So the thing is somebody has to begin to develop a heart for the people who are being victimized before it touches you. Why wait till you get your head busted wide open and ask for some help?
Very good. That seems to be the case on the streets, the lack of involvement within the community, you know. Until it happens in your house, the 3 people on the street got taken out, and you feel bad, you close your drapes, you don't go out,
Exactly.
you don't see nothing, you don't hear nothing, same old, same old.
Same
and then
thing.
all of a sudden something happens in your house, and now you want to stand up.
You want an army to
You know,
help you.
That's right.
You know.
And it is so hard to get people to join us, my friends, my brother organizations, to come out in a community. We go on the streets.
Yes.
We just formulated we're going to start doing another patrol in a couple weeks somewhere in northwest Detroit where they're having a problem. But good luck to us to get a lot of extra support. It's amazing to me.
It is.
You know, people have been beat down for so long on so many different fronts, between violence, rape, murder, between the loss of jobs, between the lack of the police coming to help them. And you're right.
You know, Barry, I made it no secret that I have been involved in crime. And I want to tell the people who are turning a deaf ear, covering their eyes to crime, that a criminal depends on that. When I was out there committing crime, even though I knew I was outnumbered by the citizens who were law-abiding citizens, it was easy for me to do the things that I did because I knew they wouldn't say a word. I knew they would, at most, they would shake their head.
You're great. And you know, today, it's even better for the criminal because they're terrorizing the community, the people are afraid, and they know the police ain't coming.
The Crime Stoppers wants to empower those people.
But, well, you know, and I want to close in a minute, the families that have lost husbands, wives, and children through murder and acts of violence in the city, the police department is not returning these calls. And I have offered, and I have talked about it till I'm blue in the face, as blue as a white guy can get, that I will personally volunteer to return. My baby boy got killed, and I'm calling you, and I'm not doing he said, she said, you know, I got to tip this guy in the corner.
Right.
I just want to know, I haven't talked to you in 3 weeks, how's the case laying? You don't call me back. Case after case after case. These cops are burnt out. And there's so many cases. You know, like I guess, I'm assuming, after a few days, maybe a week or so, they're dried up in one case because they got 3 more coming in. They don't know where they're coming and going.
At least
There's
3
so
more.
much murder in so many different areas all over, all the time. It's not even reported. We were out for a family handing out flyers about a month and a half ago, and we find out near Cooley High School, they just had a triple homicide early in the day. The crime tape is still there. Never made the news. So what we think, this is what I'm talking about, this station, what we think are the true statistics are only the statistics we know that they are reporting.
And that's everywhere.
And everywhere.
That's everywhere, all over Detroit
Why
area.
don't I'm very proud to have you, and you're a very good interview. Why don't you just give, if you want to give any contact information or close this out, take 2 minutes, tell everybody what you want to tell them, maybe where they can contact you at work at all or whatever, and we're going to close out and take a break.
Okay. Well, what I want to say is this right here: Crime Stoppers works. It works. It works for us. We, it's hard to get this out, so I'm glad to be here for that reason. You don't have to deal with the police. You don't have to deal with the prosecutor. No detective is going to knock on your door unless it's a random scan of the neighborhood. All you need to do is call 1-800-SPEAK-UP. And if you call 1-800-SPEAK-UP, you're going to get a call center to answer your call. They're going to give you an ID number so no one ever has to know who you are. And because it's in Canada, you don't even have to take the chance that your neighbor might recognize your voice. So just give this thing a try and watch the change. You would be surprised on what can happen. Barry was talking about the police not answering and not doing so many things. We even have staff in Detroit police office stations, in Highland Park police stations.
Patrice.
Yeah, that's correct. And
We love you, Patrice.
They help the police keep up with the families, like you were saying. So, and we can't be everywhere, but what I'm telling you is that the more of us are putting this out there, that we can empower our citizens to take their neighborhoods back. You don't have to go in and lock your door at 5 or 6 o'clock in the afternoon. You can enjoy the Detroit wherever in the summertime if you want to. You can walk to the store if you want to, if we just come together and do what we need to do to make a change.
That's beautiful.
And 1-800-SPEAK-UP is the way to get it done.
I just want to say in conjunction with this that if you don't think people, when I go into the community, I go in abandoned houses, I go in alleys, I go on, not every day, but when I go out, I just want to tell you something. I'm afraid, and if you don't think that it's okay to be afraid, you're wrong. If you ever talk to a soldier that fights in the front line, he tells you he's not concerned about his enemy, he's a fool. You should be concerned when you're out, but don't let your fear dictate how you got to do what you got to do. Be stronger than your fear. My passion for making a difference has to override the fear. I'm always afraid. I'm always concerned. I got a nice car when I drive. Man, when they see me, whatever. I got to keep on going. We all got to get out no matter how afraid we are. It doesn't matter. You can, somebody told me a long time ago, you can take your fear and shove it up where because you got to do what you got to do to keep on going.
Well, fear should always indicate that something needs to be done. It's just an indicator that something is not normal. Fear can be your empowerment. It can be your friend. It can help you.
The acronym for fear is, and I don't normally I wouldn't say this. It's a swear word, but forget everything and run. That's what fear is. Forget, but there's a swear word for the F word. So forget everything and run is the acronym for fear. This is Mr. Anthony Jones, and he did 20 years. He came out. He's making a difference in the community. And you have our utmost respect, and we honor you and appreciate you. And it is the men that have come from the other side that are making, most of the men that I meet are were ex-street offenders, had been to jail, been to prison, that are ones that the young guys ain't out there, man. The young guys ain't out there. We're gonna be right back, and I got a special new guest, I believe, tonight.
I want to give out my personal
Go ahead.
work
gotta
number.
Go ahead.
It's 313-922-5000, extension 24.
Oh,
So if you need to talk to me personally, you can do that.
okay. And we appreciate you taking the time and
No
your life,
problem.
your new marriage, your new house, new career, new life, making a difference. Anything can be done. You can change your life. This man's proof of it. We'll be right back after this short word.
1,000 men's suits. And right now at Sermons, you can buy one and get two free. Not one suit, but two free. Buy one suit, bring two friends. Buy one suit, bring two relatives. Buy one suit, get two free. Bring your pastor, your boss, your teacher. Buy one suit and get two free. Sermons with 90 years of experience, carrying jeans, exotic skin shoes, sets, shirts, leathers, sweaters, everything for the well-dressed man. Buy one suit, get two free. Sermons on Randolph in downtown Detroit.
We interrupt this program to bring you a special bulletin.
Did you know that there are over 100,000 abandoned homes within the city of Detroit? If you are tired of abandoned dangerous houses in your neighborhood, please support the Greater Detroit Restoration Project.
Please make all checks and money orders payable to the Greater Detroit Restoration Project. The mailing address, 17301 Livernois, Suite 405, Detroit, Michigan, 48221.
All donations will help fund the expense of boarding up abandoned homes within the city of Detroit and Highland Park. For more information, contact Barry Ross at 248-417-9696 or Minister Malik Shabazz at 313-646-3375.
You are going to want to check me out first Wednesday of every month. Join me, Barry Ross, remixing it up. It's webtv.com. I'm going to be reporting to you the facts and the truth, the way our society is run in Metro Detroit. 8 p.m., bringing you featured guests in relation to community, education, violence, what's happening on the streets in our town. It's Web TV, Barry Ross, remixing it up. Wednesdays at 8 p.m., the first Wednesday of every month. Remember, remixing it up with Barry Ross on itswebtv.com.
Hey, come on. Man, what is taking so long? Let's play.
Just getting a number.
Whose number?
Narcotics Anonymous.
Hey, if you need to talk.
No way, it's not for me, it's for my brother. He's constantly wasted. Come on, hoop time. Can you tell me about NA?
Just ask somebody in Baltimore if they want to
call Narcotics Anonymous. We can help you.
Welcome back to Mixing It Up. And I have to tell you, I am impressed with Anthony Jones. I get inspired by many things, but I really get inspired by men of honor and women of honor. And I don't get inspired by people that say great things. I get inspired by people that do things. And you know, I read a poem last week, and I don't have it with me, but I just want to recite the first couple lines. I'd rather see a sermon than to hear one any day. I'd rather one should walk with me than just show the way. And you know what? From now on, I think I'm going to read this every week. So when a father is trying to teach his son, but he illustrates through his behavior that he's contrary to his words, what kind of message does the young man get? When we tell people to stand up and they go the other way, and when I get on the streets, or when I talk about that I'm going on the streets and I get on the streets, this isn't about my ego here. This is about me showing you that we all can do, our mouths must match our behavior. We don't want to give lip service and then go the other way. We have politicians, think about this, that get on the soapbox and talk about what they're going to do once they get in the office, and they never do any of it. And I mean, if we've ever had proof positive, look at our mayor. As far as I'm concerned, I said this on Facebook last week, I believe our mayor has been on LSD for a long time. Here, I'm just going to read a couple paragraphs of this. I'd rather see a sermon and hear one any day. I'd rather one should walk with me than merely tell the way. The eye is a better pupil and more willing than the ear. Fine counsel is confusing, but examples are always clear. And the best of all the preachers are the men who live their creeds, for to see good put in action is what we all need. I can soon learn to do it if you'd let me see it done, Dad. I can watch your hand in motion, but your tongue too fast may run. And the lecture you deliver may be very wise and true, but I'd rather get my lesson by observing what you do. For I might misunderstand you in the fine advice you give, but there's no misunderstanding how you act and how you live. Now, there's more, but that's deep enough for now. This is by, not me, Edgar Guest. It's written many, many years ago. Someone gave this to me 30 years ago, and I found it online. I have with us tonight, you know, I work hand in hand when we can with the Better Detroit Youth Movement, and they came by tonight. I'm going to drop their names, Jay Bivens and Mr. Pointer, teacher in Detroit. Jay, one of the founders of the Better Detroit Youth Movement. And they have a man here from Baltimore who's with us here tonight, Kenneth Morrison. And I asked him if he'd like to come on and talk about what he's doing in Detroit. Kenneth, thank you very much for coming.
It's my pleasure. My pleasure.
And you're escorted by a couple great men. So tell everybody about your organization. What is it? Do More Community? Do More Community?
Well, it's Do More Baltimore.
Do More Baltimore.
Do More Baltimore.
All right. Since we don't know each other that well, why don't you tell us what's going on there and what you're trying to achieve here while you're in town?
All right. Besides visiting White Castle, we don't have one of those in Baltimore. So, but no. So Do More Baltimore is an organization that's focused on developing communities through very artistic approaches. We feel as though that the sign of any strong community, the indicator of any strong community, is the level of civic engagement from the people. So that's our approach. We believe if we're going to develop a community, it's going to be done by the people. And so our approach we use, it's funny you read a poem, because our favorite tool to use in our community engagement development model is literary arts. So we take literary arts and we are able to engage residents and get them involved in the community development through literary arts.
Youth?
Youth, we start with families. We want everyone in the household to get involved in some capacity.
You're involved in several community organizations in Baltimore?
Yes, well, we partner with many, and I mean, I as an individual sit on several boards, et cetera, but with Do More, we have partners in pretty much almost every neighborhood in Baltimore that we're working with.
I just want to ask you, Detroit happens to be, I'm a different sort of a white guy. Detroit happens to be 85%, last count, African American. Mm-hmm. The areas you work, what kind of climate, what kind of races are you involved with?
Honestly, primarily African American.
And what, you know, the city of Detroit, since you're relatively new here, I don't know if they've been conveying this to you, we're in the midst of a potential takeover by a Republican governor. They have destroying the school system. There's so many areas in the city that have been taken over by the governor because they're interested in privatizing all these departments. So what I want to know is, I mean, we have a faulty police department. We got a faulty city council mayor department. We have no cohesiveness, transportation, lighting. I mean, I can go on and on and on. We have 85,000 houses abandoned. What's going on in Baltimore?
Right.
As opposed to Detroit.
Yeah, I find that often you hear in communities and doing community development work, no matter if you're in Chicago, if you're in DC, if you're in Baltimore, we always point at Detroit. Well, at least we're not Detroit. And that says something to me as a person who wants to see change, and not just in Baltimore, but in all communities where I feel that reflect who we are as people, and that if we, as America, period, but as an African American man, I cannot have a community or a city that is, you know, like you said, 70% plus African American, and allow it to continue to be the highlight of what's dysfunctional about America. And so that's what brought me to Detroit, because I cannot sit in Baltimore, I cannot sit in Chicago, I cannot sit in New York and watching what's happening to Detroit and feel as though I have the right to continue to acknowledge it from a distance. I need to get involved.
I wish we had more people in Detroit that had your attitude about its own city. But in answer to my question, Baltimore itself, how's Baltimore doing? Education?
Yeah, so I call it chocolate cities. The chocolate cities, if you know, again, Baltimore, Philadelphia, Detroit.
Watts. Go on.
Yeah, they're all, honestly, they mirror each other. Now, we can say that Detroit is on the further extent of some of these issues, but the other cities are following really closely. So again, Baltimore, every issue you pointed, we don't have a Republican governor, but the in low income communities, it look exactly the same. You can see the same amount of abandoned homes. You can look at the horrible dropout rate. You can see teen pregnancy. You can see high crime. These are things that are not unique to Detroit.
In my opinion, this is set up to fail. Now, the state of Michigan has what's called emergency managers.
Yes.
You're familiar with.
I'm familiar.
There are 9 of them, so to the best of my recollection. Every time an emergency manager comes into the city, they fail deliberately. They bring them in to fail so the governor can take over and privatize. And you know what? Every city where there's an emergency manager is predominantly an African-American population. So obviously, this is a divine plan, and only you're going to hear this on this station, the truth. I'm assuming in America, they're not interested in the minorities. Even though we have a black president, the minorities are, it seems like, unlike I'm 61 years old, and I wasn't into movements when I was a teenager, but the civil rights movement, the interest, involvement in the civil rights movement and the numbers it had, to get people involved, to stand up, like yourself, like Jay, Mr. Pointer, like us, it's rare. We can't seem to get enough people. Whoever we have, we're lucky to have who we have, but it's like taking a glass of water out of the ocean. We board up abandoned houses. We board up 68 houses. There's 85,000 of them. We board up, it's like going to the county fair with the little things that you pound down. You pound one down, another one, whatever.
So, well, my question, DuMore Baltimore's perspective is that the we is never big enough. When we say we, who are the we that we're talking about? The we is rarely the people, the everyday residents from communities. The we are typically a few advocates, a few dedicated leaders, and maybe 1 or 2 residents. And if we're lucky enough, we get a few young people to pass out flyers in that process, and then we say that's the we. This is what we are doing in the city. DuMore Baltimore is focused on and bringing some of the same movement and energy to Detroit is increasing the we, making a realistic we. So the we are actually the people who are being impacted by these issues. And that's what we're really striving to do here in Detroit. We want to increase the we. We want an honest we in our language.
Well, we are broadening. Now, white bread America, middle class America has stepped down. It's been knocked down due to the economy. More and more white folks are stepping up because they're losing their homes, they're losing their jobs, but they're not getting the same kind of oppression. There was voter suppression.
Oh, yeah.
There's oppression of rights, civil rights, human rights, more so going on in the black communities and white communities. But we have this Occupy Detroit coming here. They're not doing much. They have some meetings, what have you. I don't know. So
well, again, this is just from our philosophy about how we do our work. But we are clear that engagement looks like something real. It's not something that's tossed around and theorized. It's real. It's a tangible initiative. So for us, engagement, you have to provide opportunities for people to actually be engaged. But also it takes development. You have to be able to develop people to be able to be successful or effective in those roles once you provide those opportunities. And often we wait to the end where there's an issue and we expect people to come jumping on the bandwagon and to help support this issue. With the whole entire time we ignore them. They were negated for the entire process. They have not developed the skills or even the passion to address this issue, and now we're actually dependent on them and asking, where are they? Well, we ignored them from the entire process. They're exactly where they were before the conversation. They're going to be the same place at the end of the conversation.
Could you be specific of what we could offer, what you're offering, or Better Detroit?
Yeah, so a very specific model. So we're talking about literary arts. That's our personal favorite tool to use to get people engaged. So one example, talking about young people, one example is that we're looking to partner with Department of Juvenile Services and work with the young people who are incarcerated or detained based on whatever city they different terms for. And when they go back into communities, We're looking to publish their stories, allow them to become become authors. They can sell their book. They can add to their resume that they're now an official author. And the next part of it is that they are able to travel to communities where there are high youth arrests or there are high youth recidivism. And then what we'll do is organize the community leaders within that community. Have the young people then come and share their story with these leaders. Talk about what supports are needed or should have been there to prevent them from going this direction in the first place. But then two, now that I'm home, what supports and services are in place for me now that I got back home that's gonna prevent me from making the same mistake I made the first time? And so once you begin to pass the baton, I'm not looking at asking the mayor to come do this. I'm not asking city council or any other person or Republican. I'm asking the people who live here, your next door neighbor, your aunt, your father, your mother, the lady across the street, the person at the church, the person who owns the corner store. I want you involved in this dialogue. So as your young people are now being tunneled directly into prison, what are you going to do to prevent that from happening? And then secondly, once they come back, once they're supposed to have been served their time and learned from their mistakes, what is in place for them? Often you can look at these communities and find that there are no supports and services for young people after they reach the age of 14. What is in place for them?
Programs are cut to the max.
Well, again, so we then provide support for these individuals, these leaders to step up. But again, I'm looking for change and real direction to come from the ground, not from the mayors. So it's all building the bridge.
I think this is great. I just want to say that I'm a resource person. And one of my missions is to bring people together. You can ask these. I like to network. There are many, many, many more resources available to the people that live in a city that don't even know.
Oh yeah.
So when we speak of these programs,
exactly, no
one needs to be in this city hungry, without food or shelter, or mentoring to be taught how to read better, mathematics. Right. All these skills are available to the people, but there's no way that they can find out about them. Right. And they're embarrassed. I want to take a quick call. You're a great guy. Hello, good evening. Well, they're gone. I also feel that we're negating the real young, because I'm not saying we shouldn't work with the juveniles. But we need to start with the 2, 3, 4, 5-year-olds on the way up and developing in school to let right there. They don't have.
I would disagree with you. We need to start before that. And one of the things where I'm lucky that I have the opportunity now from Baltimore to travel around the country and seeing what works. The Harlem Children's Zone, which a lot of people are familiar with, what happens in Harlem, they started with understanding that the development started with pregnant women.
Great.
So they were beginning training and educating fathers and mothers how to be good parents and how to raise their children from that point. But we talk about human development. It's a continuum. Human development is a continuum. It starts at the beginning of life and it goes to the end of life.
We're supposed to evolve.
Exactly.
You're supposed to constantly learn, transition, change. That's what life's all about.
Right.
The older I get, the more enriched I'm supposed to get with knowledge. You're not supposed to get a certain age and stop learning and stop growing and stop changing. We are the only species, tell me if I'm right or wrong, on this planet that has the capacity to change. Animals can't rectify an error and a defect in their character.
Correct.
We can admit, hopefully, I can admit when I'm wrong, and maybe someone can point out to me there's a better pathway if I can get out of my mindset. Change is not easy.
Right. But one of the things, like, people, like you said, you're a man about resources. Well, I'm a man about coordinating, because it's a point you mentioned, that there may be so many resources in place, but who are the people coordinating these resources? Back in Baltimore, one of the things I had the opportunity to do in my previous employment was to bring together all the resources who were serving one particular neighborhood. And we were able to talk about all the issues in this particular neighborhood. And who at this table, everyone showed up. So who at this table, over 30 different programs. So who at this table was addressing these particular issues? We were able to identify, okay, these 17 issues are being addressed, but these 25 are being ignored. Or we were able to say, okay, we have people in place working with parents who are pregnant, working with children who are between the ages of 0 to 5, working with children of ages between 6 to 12. But then we notice there's no one working with the 13 to 17-year-olds. And then we can go back up to where services and supports are needed for adults. And then we notice there's no one doing adult literacy, or there's no one doing adult employment. And then we can go back so we can realize where the gaps are and then begin to coordinate around this, bring people in when we need them to come in, expand what we need to expand, step back when we need to be able to step back.
We need you here. Don't go back home.
Well,
we need you here. Jay, keep this man here. Listen, I want to take 1 minute if you want to give any contact information, and I got to turn my show over to my very important co-host in a minute. You want to close it out, take a minute.
Okay.
On your own.
Okay. My name is, again, Kenneth Morrison. I am with Do More Baltimore. I'm currently here in Detroit. I'm looking to spend about 2 weeks each month and trying to learn the lay of the ground here in Detroit. So if you're working in Detroit and you have some initiatives happening from, again, grassroots, city agencies, etc., if something exciting is happening in Detroit, I want to know about it and I want to support it. So you can reach me on my cell phone, 443-850-8177. Again, that's 443-850-8177. And you can email me at Kenneth@do, D-E-W, more, M-O-R-E, B more, just the letter B, M-O-R-E.org. So that's Kenneth@domore.org. And again, if it's happening in Detroit and it's exciting, I want to be able to support it. So just please reach out.
I'm very proud to. We just met a couple hours ago, and you didn't disappoint our public, and I want to work with you. I appreciate this very much.
It was exciting. Thanks a lot.
Stick here for a minute. After this break, the one and only Maiwa, and it looks like she's doing okay, Reverend Maiwa Reynolds, who God don't let me ever get rid of this woman on my show. We'll be right back. She'll be on right after me, after the break.
You're watching Power Talk on your community TV station, UHF TV 33, Detroit, Highland Park.
Welcome to Metro Foodland, where you will always find courteous service. Our hardworking staff always gives their all to maintain our dairy fresh and wholesome products, cold cuts, premium meats, and of course, we have some of the freshest produce around. Check out our deli and bistro. We also carry specialty items such as Tanisha Noni, Water Station alkaline water, and much, much more. If we don't have it, just ask, and we'll do our best to get it. Remember to ask how to join our Healthy Rewards Club. Seniors and ladies, always ask for an escort to your vehicle. We'll see you soon at Detroit's own community grocer, Metro Foodland, located at 18551 Grand River. That's 18551 Grand River, near Finkel and the Southfield Freeway. Remember, that's Metro Foodland.
Tuesdays, 9 p.m. on TV 33. Join me, Barry Ross, on Mixing It Up. We'll feature informative community organizations that will offer solutions to Wayne County residents in reference to employment, safety, and security within neighborhoods, job training, education, and mentoring programs. Remember, Tuesdays, 9 p.m. Join me, Barry Ross, Mixing It Up on TV 33.
1,000 men's suits. And right now at Sermons, you can buy one and get two free. Not one suit, but two free. Buy one suit, bring two friends. Buy one suit, bring two relatives. Buy one suit, get two free. Bring your pastor, your boss, your teacher. Buy one suit and get two free. Sermons with 90 years of experience, carrying jeans, exotic skin shoes, sets, shirts, leather, sweaters, everything for the well-dressed man. Buy one suit, get two free. Sermons on Randolph in downtown Detroit.
We interrupt this program to bring you a special bulletin.
Did you know that there are over 100,000 abandoned homes within the city of Detroit? If you are tired of abandoned dangerous houses in your neighborhood, please support the Greater Detroit Restoration Project.
Please make all checks and money orders payable to the Greater Detroit Restoration Project. The mailing address, 17301 Livernois, Suite 405, Detroit, Michigan 48221.
All donations will help fund the expense of boarding up abandoned homes within the city of Detroit and Highland Park. For more information, contact Barry Ross at 248-417-9696 or Minister Malik Shabazz at 313-646-3375.
Good evening. You're watching TV 33 WHPR, Detroit, Highland Park. And welcome. Thank you so much, my brother, Barry Ross, for this opportunity, for this sphere of influence, for this partnership that has developed over the last few months. As you know, we were working together in the community for peace, always finding each other in the same place as we stood for peace, marched for peace, and lived for peace. Because more than standing and marching, you have to live out your peace creed by living a peaceful life. And so it is that I've had this pleasure and opportunity to bring before you many of my friends and powerful, dynamic people right here in the city of Detroit, in the city of Highland Park, making a difference, changing lives, and bringing creative energy, intellect, spiritual awareness, power to the people. And so it is that I come to you again with a thankful heart in the spirit of Thanksgiving as we prepare for the Advent, the anticipation of that which is good, that which is transformative, that which is life-changing. In anticipation for all things, I give thanks and praise to Almighty God. I give thanks and praise to my ancestors who sacrificed much, who struggled, but most of all because they believed in a better life and a brighter future for me and for you. And for them, we are grateful. To my elders, to my sisters and my brothers, for all of you who are tuning in tonight, we're thankful for you. For you are in the right place, and this is the right time. If you'd like to call in, the number is 868-0342, 868-0351, or 868-4336. I want to talk a little bit tonight about something good, because we always want to bring something positive to fill our lives, because we are so inundated with the negative. We're very aware and keenly acute to what's wrong. But we want to take time to fill our lives with what's good and to fill our cup with what's wonderful and beautiful and luscious and nutritious. And I want to talk about supporting local vendors. As we approach the season of Advent, we should not go broke going out to malls which are 20, 30, 40 miles from where we live, paying our tax money, our hard-earned money, our whatever money, our refund money with someone else, paying taxes and supporting other communities. We should spend our money right where we live. And there are artisans within our community who are creating beautiful works of art to wear as jewelry, as clothing, beautiful works of art to hang on your wall, as well as performers who are creating works of art in the music industry that is positive and life-giving. And so I want to invite you to a holiday bazaar. It happens this Saturday and Sunday at Fellowship Chapel, 7707 West Outer Drive, where there'll be almost 50 vendors, local vendors, who have created wares and brought out things that they have put a personal touch to, so that you can shop in the community with people who live in the community and support the programs that support you. And so with me tonight, I have my dear sister friend, who's an artist, a songstress, a spiritual leader, and an extraordinary woman of God, a spirit woman, who I have the pleasure of working with as an urban bushwoman in the city of Detroit. And she is just a wonderful, wonderful sister friend to have. And we're just going to talk a little bit tonight about her opportunity to share her artwork at the Holiday Bazaar, as well as the Goddess Marketplace, which we will talk about, which takes place right here in Highland Park. So I'd like to introduce to you Samara Ya Smith. Hey, Samara.
Peace.
Peace.
Thank you for having me tonight.
It is my pleasure. So first I want to talk, just to give you an update on who's been on the show. We started off our first week. We had, who do we have, Baba Lumumba? we had Mama Shamayin. Okay, we opened up with the Highland Park Strong Spirit Woman of Highland Park. Then we had Reverend Bullock, who's also in Highland Park, the Highland Park NAACP leader and the Rainbow Push Coalition from Michigan. And then on last week, we had Minister Portia Lockett, who's over DMC. And now this week, we have you. And as you see, it's a long list of people who are making a difference. And you certainly make a difference by the way you live your life. So I want you to talk a little bit about your art that you create and some of the programs that you're involved in with children as well as adults and with women in particular.
Well, sometimes it would be easier, shorter, to list what I don't do because I have been blessed by God and guided by our ancestors in how to use the gifts that I was blessed with. I was blessed with parents who recognized that I had God-given gifts and spent lots of time and lots of money helping me to develop those gifts. So at this point in my life, I am happy to say that I've been able to bring all the gifts together into the things that I do for my living. And so amongst those things are storytelling. People may recognize me, or at least my voice, from storytelling at local cultural institutions like the Charles H. Wright Museum of African American History, like the DIA, like the Public Library. And these days, I am employed by the YMCA of Metropolitan Detroit, the Metro Youth Division, as a vendor who takes storytelling into the after-school programs. Right now, I'm on assignment at David Ellis West Academy and David Ellis Detroit Academy, and I'm teaching storytelling to the youngest of the students, the kindergarten through third graders. It's a delightful experience. We do storytelling and have art and music and drama connections, and I think that's important to me because that is a traditional, ancient, and really rejuvenating way to express and to import culture to the children.
Yes, absolutely.
I specialize in African and African American storytelling, but I'm interested in all cultures and in the ways that cultures interact, intersect, and have things in common across the board. So the children learn not just about their own culture, but about Native American, First Peoples culture, about Japanese and Chinese and other Asian cultures, and from all over the world. So that's really exciting. Another thing that I do with my visual art is I create and facilitate doll making. Create dolls and facilitate doll making. That's my newest passion. The project is called How Does Your Goddess Grow? And it's a soft body doll making experience for women and girls. It started out as a way for women to take some time out from their busy schedules, from their work lives, and the juggling that we do naturally, to just have 2 to 4 hours to themselves, where they only thought about their own needs, where they got in touch with their spiritual centers, and they expressed what was on their hearts and their minds, or in their visions and dreams, through the making of the dolls. It has grown over the last 3 years, and with the help of my partner, Evelyn Pinkard, who's a fabulous metalsmith and fiber artist here in Detroit, to include girls, multi-generational circles and activities. We do this as parties, we do it as fundraisers, and we are now proud and honored to be working with various groups that are serving women who are survivors of domestic abuse and sexual violence. And so we're finding that the doll making is really therapeutic in terms of giving women a chance to express how they were affected by those things.
Okay.
But also to decide how they're going to heal themselves.
Awesome.
And so the choice to be healed, the choice to engage your spiritual center, the choice to do that work in the company of other women who understand where you're coming from is really powerful, and I believe is to be honored.
Awesome, awesome. Yeah, I want to talk about that for just a moment. So what I really love and respect and appreciate about you is how you say your parents cultivated those art. You're a beautiful songstress. The other day, you and Jabari were practicing, and I was just blown away because I know that you can sing, but when you're in the groove and you had the music was just right, just to hear your voice is so lovely and beautiful, and hopefully you'll be able to share some of that with us tonight. But what I really love is how, like the kente cloth, how you've woven all those things together. And so they are like inextricably connected. The song is connected to the visual because you're a visual artist as well. I've seen your paintings, your drawings, your calligraphy, and then the doll making. I want to talk a little bit about the doll making, how that artistic experience, you know, sometimes it can take us into a right brain thinking. And we know that right brain thinking and artistic experiences help us to break through. How have you experienced that as a transformational process from the beginning of maybe some people might be a little apprehensive or doll making, what is this, to the actual end result? I know we can't do that within this time frame, but just give us a snippet of how you've witnessed the transformational power of that.
Well, I can tell you from my own experience of it, that is transformational. I can tell you that Evelyn and I were working as the facilitators of the Mother Wit program, which taught arts and crafts in real time, hands-on, as a track for entrepreneurship for teen girls and senior women under the banner of the Wisdom Institute of Detroit. And we had a wonderful grant-funded first year, task force year, where we mapped everything out, did the budget, did the curriculum, had a wonderful time with the participants, and then the money went dry. And however, Evelyn and I enjoyed each other's company so much that we kept meeting weekly at her home studio to encourage each other to learn new skills. We were sharing skills, and I was helping her prepare fabric for another project and was just so excited by the dialogue we were having and the opportunity to put the feelings, the emotion, all of what we were going through, what we were hoping for, as well as what we were steeling ourselves against, into this fabric, and have it come out so beautifully, and have the process really ease our spirits and help us to clarify what it was we really wanted to be doing as artists. And so we just wanted other women to have that opportunity. So I find what happens in the room is, once women talk about what it is that they're envisioning, or they talk about where they are in their spirit at the moment as we're starting, they find out they're not alone. There's always, without exception, at least one other person who's going through what they're going through. And oftentimes more than one. There's often a theme that runs through the people who gather in the room, and we have no way of knowing what that'll be until we get to the room. So we do recognize that that is the movement of spirit. It's the movement of God. God is all that is everything in each of us, bringing us together at the right time in the right place for that right purpose. So once we establish what the mood is, what the need is amongst the women, then we go about having the fun of coloring and drawing and stamp printing and glue gunning, and it brings back the joy of pure creative expression that we used to have when we colored in our coloring books, or we played with our dolls when we were little, or we drew chalk lines on the sidewalk, or even when we combed each other's hair on the porch.
Life's experiences.
Exactly, when it was just about being in the moment, and we didn't have the isms, the schisms, and all of the responsibilities that we have a tendency as adults to wear as armor against our feelings and against being present to where it is that spirit has us in our soul growth. So the How Does Your Goddess Grow doll making experience is designed to put you back in touch with that.
Yes.
It's designed to make you free to express yourself, and it all depends on you believing that you'll know what to do when the time is right.
Yes, that you have all that you need.
That's correct.
And that's the larger lesson.
Yes.
Is that you will know what to do when the time is right, if you take opportunities and times to sit and be still.
That's right.
And listen.
Yes,
Excellent.
if you listen and if you follow the voice.
Yes.
Because it's one thing to listen and to hear, it's another thing to do what it says.
Yes.
To follow that first mind and to do it even if you don't know what's going to happen. So we say in the Wisdom Institute, we want you to go with us into the I don't know and do it anyway, even if you don't know. And trust that by the end, you either will know or we will have created a new meaning. And so there won't be any holes in your knowledge or your understanding.
Right.
And we honor the fact that we have free will that allows us to choose at every given moment how we're going to feel about a thing, how we're going to respond to things and to people, to circumstances and situations and relationships. And we believe that we create our reality that way.
Yeah,
that is our charge
on
from
our choices.
Spirit. Yes, to use our free will to make choices that create good and more good and more good to the best of our ability.
Exactly. And I love that, because even with the process of forgiving, so that you can heal, because oftentimes many people think that forgiveness is for the other person, but truly forgiveness is for self. It frees self from the trauma or from experiencing the trauma, and a good, what I've learned is a good litmus test, a good test to know whether or not you have truly healed from a situation is put back in that same scenario or set of circumstances. If your heart rate doesn't increase, and if your blood pressure doesn't rise, then you know that you have transcended past that pain. But if it still evokes a certain amount of physical tension that you may not let on, because we're really good about wearing the mask, that there's still some work to be done around healing. But I think it's very important and very transformative using creativity to heal, using creativity, because it takes people, it's not so clinical, yet it has been studied as an authentic form of therapy, a way to help people heal. And that's really what I see as your, certainly the doll making, but even with the storytelling, the children hearing stories, African tales, folk tales, Native American, Aboriginal tales, that there are all these wonderful stories out here that have been passed down from generation to generation, that people like you and other storytellers here in Detroit, we have a coalition of storytellers.
We have some wonderful storytellers.
Some of the best in the world.
That is correct.
And that they go in, and I feel like a child every time I listen to a story, and I want to participate and make the sounds, because it transforms us and it allows us to use our imagination. And that's something that I think in education, shifting just a bit, something that is missing, that I think is very critical for the real development, holistic development of our children, is the use of imagination, the going with it. I know sometimes year-old still likes to use hers, and sometimes I want to, and I'll say, no, she's, husband say, oh, that sounds really great. She says, Daddy, what if? And she makes up this, and so I have to remember that she's a kid and allow her to use her imagination, because so often we snatch children's childhood from them, and we're so focused on tests and these other things that we think are so critically important, and we've missed out on allowing them to have imagination. And sometimes less is more, less gadgets, more time to imagine, to create, will develop and help them more. So I try to intertwine. On my card it says minister, educator, artist. So I try to intertwine the arts, ministry, and education. And certainly that's what you embody, because going into the schools and working with young people, you're an educator, right?
Yes.
So that's without doubt. And you're also a healer in terms of the doll making and working with young people. So I want to invite you to come out to Fellowship Chapel this weekend, 7707 West Outer Drive, to the Holiday Bazaar. And there will be women and men and artisans and jewelry makers and dressmakers, and spend your money, spend your time, spend some energy with these people who have something to offer that can make our lives better. I know that all that you do helps to make someone else's life better. And I know, just like in ministry, when you're helping others, you help yourself.
Absolutely, absolutely. I'm really looking forward to being at the Holiday Bazaar at Fellowship Chapel, because I know many of the vendors who are going to be there, and I really appreciate the practical application of supporting local small business and entrepreneurship and the arts that embodies, and that happens often.
Right, and so we kick off the Nguzo Saba, because as we practice in African Center of Cosmology and Consciousness, the Nguzo Saba is to be practiced all year long. Unity, self-determination, collective work and responsibility, cooperative economics, purpose, creativity, and faith. And all those things are intertwined. But when we truly take the time to spend our money and our time with local vendors, we're supporting you, you're supporting us, because we're going away with something beautiful. And so I know our time is running short. Do we have any callers? Okay. Well, we thank you for tuning in. I want to ask Mama Samara to end with a song. I love this song, if she doesn't mind, Celebration of Life. As we celebrate life, as we are in a spirit of giving thanks, we gave away over 400 Thanksgiving baskets through the James E. Wadsworth Jr. Community Center, and I know there were others who served people. People are shifting, and I want to encourage you to stay in this spirit of Thanksgiving, stay in this spirit of anticipation, and anticipating that which is good. Because not only do we anticipate it on the cosmic level, we anticipate as we celebrate Christ, but we should anticipate it in one another. We should anticipate the good. We should anticipate that in our children, that they will be and do great things. And it is up to us to anticipate those things about one another, about our great city, about our leaders. And if they can't, we can support them in moving to the side and getting others so we can bring out the good, because we deserve it. We deserve the best. And so I want to leave with this song, Celebration of Life. We just have a few minutes, and we're going to go out with this song.
Okay.
Thank you, Mama.
We'll make it through the first verse, maybe. Do 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 do. Do 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 ah do 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 do. We celebrate life in all its phases, from dawn to dusk, from ebb to tide, from wax to wane, from birth to rebirth. We celebrate. We celebrate life in all its expressions, as water, fire, earth, and air, as sun, as sea, as you, and as me. We celebrate life.
Celebrate life. That's right. We need to celebrate life. Celebrate the good. Celebrate the God in you. God bless you. We will see you on next week. You're watching TV 33 WHPR, Detroit, Highland Park.
Tuesdays, 9 p.m. on TV 33. Join me, Barry Ross, on Mixing It Up. We'll feature informative community organizations that will offer solutions to Wayne County residents in reference to employment, safety, and security within neighborhoods, job training, education, and mentoring programs. Remember, Tuesdays, 9 p.m. Join me, Barry Ross, Mixing It Up on TV 33.
1,000 men's suits. And right now at Sermons, you can buy one and get two free. Not one suit, but two free. Buy one suit, bring two friends. Buy one suit, bring two relatives. Buy one suit, get two free. Bring your pastor, your boss, your teacher. Buy one suit and get two free. Sermons with 90 years of experience, carrying jeans, exotic skin shoes, sets, shirts, leather, sweaters, everything for the well-dressed man. Buy one suit, get two free. Sermons on Randolph in downtown Detroit.
We interrupt this program to bring you a special bulletin.
Did you know that there are over 100,000 abandoned homes within the city of Detroit? If you are tired of abandoned, dangerous houses in your neighborhood, please support the Greater Detroit Restoration Project.
Please make all checks and money orders payable to the Greater Detroit Restoration Project. The mailing address, 17301 Livernois, Suite 405, Detroit, Michigan, 48221.
All donations will help fund the expense of boarding up abandoned homes within the city of Detroit and Highland Park. For more information, contact Barry Ross at 248-417-9696 or Minister Malik Shabazz at 313-646-3375.
You are going to want to check me out first Wednesday of every month. Join me, Barry Ross, remixing it up. It's webtv.com. I'm going to be reporting to you the facts and the truth, the way our society is run in Metro Detroit. 8 p.m., bringing you featured guests in relation to community, education, violence, what's happening on the streets in our town. It's Web TV, Barry Ross, remixing it up. Wednesdays at 8 p.m., the first Wednesday of every month. Remember, remixing it up with Barry Ross on itswebtv.com.
Channel 33, its management or sponsors. You're watching UHF TV 33, Detroit Highland Park.
If you have a drain problem, call the drain expert, Arrow Drain Company. After cleaning your drain, we'll treat your system to help break down fats, oil, grease, and household waste. This treatment helps prevent clogging, harmful sludge buildup, and helps to stop unpleasant odors in your drain. This product contains natural ingredients, is safe for all plumbing, and is non-corrosive. It won't harm plastic, metal, or porcelain. Use this product once every month. This treatment is free. For further information, call 248-894-0635. Arrow Sewer and Drain Cleaning.